Hello, good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. Hope everybody is well and you've been enjoying this long hot summer that we've been having. Right, okay, so where have I been? I left you in the middle of June. I did explain on that vlog that I was going to have some me time. I just decided that I wasn't going to work 5 days a week. I had a holiday coming up, I had some long weekends, I had things coming up during days, and I think like so many of us, I left school on a Friday when I was 16 and started work on the following Monday, and pretty much all the way through my 46 years of working, apart from a 2 weeks holiday and a bit of time at Christmas, it's always non-stop. And just this year I thought, you know what, the weather's going to be nice for the next few months. I'm going to have some time to myself and to have a break and a bit of a chill out. I have still been working probably 1 to 2 days a week, but I've been doing the jobs that I wanted to do, rather than perhaps just looking up at what's on the CX and thinking, yep, I'll do that one and putting a price on it. It's been okay when I've been working. I've been quite lucky. I had a friend who I've sort of mentioned before, I won't mention his company, but he does tour work and festivals and stuff like that. He's been very, very busy, and he's given me bits of work for a few days. I've been down to the WOMAD festival, I think it was, down in Chippenham a couple of times, Latitude, Silvertown, and also one locally, where audio light equipment has needed to be changed. This time of year, those sort of tours are very, very busy, and equipment's coming back off one tour or festival and going straight out to another one, and sometimes it's not working properly and needs replacing, and that's what I've been doing. Been doing some jobs off the CX, as I say, jobs where I put a price on that is acceptable to me rather than the shipper. Yeah, so it's sort of been okay, and along with that I've had a nice break, so all good. I did say I'd probably come back early September, and there's no other reason than I just thought probably now's a good time to sort of come back and ease myself back into 5 day week working. The van was due a service around the 165,000 mark, and I needed a wet belt to be replaced again when it got to around 170 to 175. So I booked that in for Monday and Tuesday. I'm just on just over 166,000. So I thought I'm going to get the van service, major service, and get the wet belt done. Come to a total of about £1,400 in all, but that's fine. It's all budgeted for, and the van is all good to go. So I'll perhaps talk about the van, because I mentioned what I might do with the van back in sort of June, but I'll talk about that another day. So the plan was to start back today in full earnest and see what was about. Started looking yesterday around about 3 o'clock once I'd collected the van, got it washed, and spent an hour or so giving it a good clean inside, getting it back all up to scratch. As expected, my expectations for this time of year are very low, especially when you live in an area like I do at Brightlingsea, Colchester. It's not a big industrial hub. There is work around, and it normally does me okay, but it is fairly quiet. I was watching Saints Man's video early in the week, and he seemed to be quite busy last week, but he's based sort of Northampton, in the middle of the country. And I just think there, yes, there's more drivers, there's more vans, but there's also more work. And I think when you're a little bit, excuse me, on the outskirts, you can suffer a little bit. So no expectations. There was a few jobs around that I put prices on, but they were prices again that I felt I'm going to do the job for this. One from Clacton-on-Sea going to Milton Keynes, that would have been a nice job for a medium van. 122 miles, and I put a price of 145 on that. I think that works out roughly about just under £1.20 a mile. Didn't get that. There was a job for the first thing this morning from Whittam, going to Watford for a large van, 62 miles. Put a price of £90 on that. just felt being Watford on the outskirts of London and on the M25, especially been a lot of problems around the M25 in the last few weeks. I thought that was a decent price, but didn't get that one. And one more locally, Manningtree in Essex, not too far from where I am, going to London E11 for a small van, and 68 miles. I put £100 on it again. E11 Leighton, for me that sort of classifies as a London delivery. Didn't get that, so nothing else is around, so I had to wait till this morning. Wife was working from home, which was good, so I left home a little bit later, about 6:45. Just made my way into Colchester to park up and get some breakfast. Absolutely nothing on the CX at all. Yeah, nothing. The first job that appeared was about 8 o'clock, and that was from Ipswich, going to Lowestoft for a small van. Put a price on that of £80. It wasn't a job that I was jumping to do, but there was so little about, and you start to think, oh, I really do need to try and get going. I know it's not a great area, Lowestoft, but it almost is worth the gamble. Anyway, so I put that on, and I got a phone call at 8:20. The job was mine. 29 miles to the collection point from where I was, 35 minutes, but it was a 9 o'clock collection, so that was fine. Got there dead on 9 o'clock, so it was a small van job. 46 miles to Lowestoft on the CX. As I say, I bid £80 on that. Left the collection point 9:15. Nice gentle toodle up to Lowestoft. It was more Gorleston, which is the other side of Lowestoft. Got there at 10:30, all empty by 10:40. The job was actually 43 miles. Yeah, it's interesting, but no, 3 miles doesn't make a great difference, does it? But anyway, that was that. Empty at 10:40, so there was a Costa coffee nearby, so I did my normal and decided I'm going to get myself a coffee, and I'm going to wait till 12 o'clock and see if anything comes up in the Lowestoft area. There was some jobs from Norwich and their surrounding area, but it was all sort of 45-50 minutes away, and I didn't think it was worth bidding on them at that distance, and probably secondly, I would be fairly unlikely to get those jobs anyway. I'm sure there was vans nearer. Got to 12 o'clock, decided I'm going to leave Lowestoft and toodle my way down to Ipswich, or possibly Colchester. I'll just see what comes up. That took an hour and 15. I actually went to Colchester in the end. There's nothing, absolutely nothing come up anywhere along the route. There was, I tell a lie, there was one job that came up from Great Yarmouth when I was sitting up at Lowestoft. That was going to Grimsby, 143 miles for a large van. I didn't bid on it. I didn't really think there was much point. Looking at the distance, looking at the time that was going to take, that was going to leave me in Grimsby about 3:30, more likely 4 o'clock. It's going to leave me a 4-hour drive home with probably zero chance of getting anything anyway up that way, or coming down through Lincolnshire, so I left that one alone. Anyway, got back to Colchester area around about 1:15. Yeah, there's nothing. There's been a few bits that were for tomorrow morning. There was a couple of jobs again of distance from Colchester and Witham, one was going the other side of Reading, but they're really the prices I was probably going to get. There isn't any point in doing it. I think you're just wasting time, wasting fuel, with very little chance of getting a job back. So it's just literally on 3 o'clock, and I've decided I'm going to call it a day. The other reason for that is I have won a job for tomorrow morning that's going into London. Again, not my perfect choice, but this time of year, beggars can't be choosers. So it's a nice, easy, relaxed day today. I'm literally going to be home in 20 minutes. I'll be home by 3:15, 3:20. Yeah, nothing exciting to shout about on the first day back, if you like, back into sort of doing it full time. But as I say, expectations were low. It is going to be quiet this week and possibly next week as we lead up to the bank holiday. But yeah, we'll just see. You know, we might get a good day in there somewhere. Not too much else to report. I think you all know now, delivery man has decided to leave the business, which is a shame, but I fully understand why. It makes absolute sense, and I've messaged him privately to wish him well, and I'll say this publicly as well, wish him the best of luck with what he's going on to do, and I hope it all worked out for him. Not too much generally going on in the courier trade, I don't think, to be honest. It's been fairly quiet, but yeah, but anyway, we'll call it a day now with this. I hope hope you've not missed me and will start watching the videos again. We'll obviously try to do a daily one. That's the plan. As I've always said from day one, I'm honest in everything I do. I give you an honest assessment of what it's like to purely work at the CX. Yeah, and leave it at that. I'll perhaps do a little bit of update of about the way I work and bits and pieces over the next few days, week maybe, because I'm sure new people will be watching the channel and they won't necessarily want to go all the way back to episode number 1 and watch all those videos in the past. But anyway, lovely to be back. I hope you're all well, and we'll talk again tomorrow. All the best. Cheers, Paul.